Fahad, welcome.
Guys, I have stage fright. I know this is not a stage, but this is still more than 5 people that I usually talk to at once. So excuse me if I get nervous throughout the whole conversation.
You're going to be fine. Can we give him a big round of applause? Do you know what? It takes a lot of courage for someone to do anything in front of a crowd. The fact that he does this regularly on screen, you don't see the people on the other side. So well done for doing this. You're breaking through fear here, which is a big thing.
Yeah, 50 views on social media looks horrible, but 50 views or 40 views in real life is something else. Yeah.
This is a small group. See, I said to you, I'm going to look after you. We've got a small group, but they're an engaging group. And I love the fact that you're all here. So thank you very much for coming to support us on our first event. Big round of applause to all of you guys. I love it. So Fahad, we're ready to get into this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So my first question to you is, we're all here to know how do we get our content to get viral, right? Can you share what are the trends that are happening right now that you're seeing, and what have you known and seen as proven strategies for viral content?
So viral content in itself is subjective. I mean, you could have 0 followers and you start posting content and get 10,000 views, and you can consider that viral. Or you have 1 million followers and you post a video and it gets 5 million views, and that's viral. When you talk about trends or just what's working, I prefer to stay away from trends, because when you start copying trends that go viral, you're limiting yourself from creating an endless stream of content that can potentially blow up. And a lot of creators and a lot of people that I've seen in the market try to hop onto trends because it's an easy fix. I mean, you do a trend, you get 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 views. Amazing. What are you going to do with the next infinite posts till you die? Right? So, on the top of my head, I've seen Dubai is the safest city. Dubai has an app for everything. Or how much do you pay for rent? What do you do for a living? And it goes on POV shot. This is for 50 dirhams. This is 50 dirhams. What can I get for this? Right? All of these videos do well because there's a certain behavior of the audience that is consuming the content. But through these videos, you can create something else. It's just people, instead of modifying the content, just copy it word for word.
So I love what you're saying is, don't follow the trend, but take inspiration from what that trend is and create something new and different with it.
Yeah, what I do on my content isn't original. It's not new. Podcasts have been around for a long time. I just took an existing structure and I started making fun of it. And a lot of the people, they go like, no, but it's so simple. It took me around 1,000 videos before I discovered this. And to me, it's interesting. To me, it's funny. That's why I do it. But if this was not interesting or funny, I wouldn't do it.
Okay, so this is another point. You said you've done over 1,000 to get to that concept, right? How the hell did you keep going after 1,000 different types? That's a lot. I want to give up after 20.
A little bit of backstory. After I dropped out of college, I was pursuing electrical engineering and I got into media. I kind of didn't really know what I was doing. And so media was interesting. Me and my best friend Majdi, we just used to make videos together, post it on Twitter. Twitter is where we first experienced virality. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And so when you get your first video to get 500,000 views, you're just asking yourself, how did you do this? What caused this video to reach 500,000 people? And honestly, there's no one correct answer. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to treat this as a hobby and see where it goes. And so after I reached 1,000 videos and I figured out, okay, this is exactly what I need to do to go viral, it was very simple. For me right now, I can create 25 to 30 videos in half an hour because I know exactly what goes into the video and how it can go viral. So after a certain time, it's almost like you've created this factory that's churning out content. And once you have that formula for yourself, it's super easy.
So you're saying that everyone is going to find their own secret sauce. it's going to work out differently for everyone. But is there some sort of a roadmap or a process that we can go through to figure out what works and what doesn't? Comedy works for you. Satire and that works, but it's not going to work for everybody. So what kind of, like, let's say, for example, Maria does real estate. And that's one of the questions I want to get to, is a lot of people creating content for real estate. If that's your sector, and do you just go for comedy because you think that's going to work? Or do you go for, let's get on site, let's show how things are built? What can you try? And is there any roadmap someone can follow?
So I always tell people, before you start creating content, ask yourself why you're creating content. If your objective is to get sales, stop. Because social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, MSN, WhatsApp, BBM was created for people to network, connect with each other. We've kind of lost the meaning of that today, because all we're trying to do is take our business, put it up on social media, take our service or product, and try to get reach so that we can sell. The algorithm doesn't care, to be very honest, if you're an engineer, doctor, lawyer, real estate broker. All it cares about is, are you helping the platform with viewers staying on the platform? Because that's what Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is selling to advertisers. And when you start thinking, when it's like a humbling experience, honestly, when you level with the algorithm, with the platforms, then you start thinking of content differently. So you won't be thinking, okay, how can I make a video that's going to help me get 1 million views and I'm going to be able to sell? None of my content on my own page is about how to go viral or how to create content. I mean, just recently, like last month, I opened up another page where I'm addressing all of this. So if you're a real estate broker and you're trying to create content, you've got to dive into your own life, see what you like as a consumer of content, and ask yourself, why am I doing this? If this is purely to get leads, in my opinion, it's not sustainable. Because today there's maybe 50,000 brokers, and out of that, maybe 1,000 brokers are creating content and copying each other. So how are you bringing something different to the table? If I was a real estate broker and I was trying to create content, I would do exactly what I'm doing right now. I would keep making fun of podcasts. But maybe you don't like humor. Maybe you like being serious on camera. Then talk about something that you enjoy doing. Maybe you like, I don't know, golf. You like playing football. Talk about football. It'll reel in people who genuinely relate with your content, and then they'll see, oh, you're a real estate broker. Okay, one of these millions of viewers who were football fans want to buy a house. And that's how you build this conversion system. But it should be, I'm trying to provide some sort of value through my content first, and then will it sell?
So it's indirect
Always.
Selling, which I love, because I remember there's a lot of people who would come as a speaker, sit, and they would start pushing what their latest book, workshop, event, or whatever it is, and it doesn't work. It doesn't resonate. But if you start talking to people, like you just said, about something that will resonate with them, they'll be more intrigued to come and know, okay, so what is exactly you do? And that's how I think you can get into it, which is really interesting what you're saying. And on the back of that, you also mentioned something really interesting. You created a new, let's say, podcast or a new channel, Creators Manual. And I'm fascinated because you're working with an audience who's all about entertainment. So I'm also interested to know, how are you going to pivot and shift to a new audience focusing on education? Because a lot of people have that as a barrier as well, dealing with finding out who their audience is. How do we understand what are they like? How do I reach them? How do I talk to them? So tell me a little bit about that. How are you going to change from entertainment to education as your audience?
To be very honest, I have absolutely no idea. I mean, I've done everything.
Thank you very much.
Everything that I've done till today is purely trial and error. I don't have marketing background in college. So all I know is that exactly what I implemented on my entertainment channel, which was researching what I enjoy watching and creating something that first I will like. And then if my viewers like it, that's great. If they don't, then the algorithm will do the work to find viewers that resonate with that content. So the pivot is definitely going to be hard, because there's extreme saturation within the field of social media gurus, content creation experts, and marketing experts. So when I come and I speak about all of this stuff, I'm not really saying something that hasn't been already said. I'll have to find a way to make it unique to myself. I mean, honestly, as of right now, I haven't. because I haven't seen something blow up naturally by itself. And when I say naturally by itself, on the creator manual, whatever I've posted is either a collaboration with my existing account, which would be inorganic reach, technically speaking, because it's reeling in the entertainment crowd. And on YouTube, also, I haven't really seen any big traction. But how am I going to achieve this is I'm going to try doing this as long as humanly possible till I find that style or structure of content that works. Because just like on TikTok and Instagram on my previous accounts, all the algorithm cares about is whether I'm able to keep people retained onto this platform. So whether I do that by talking about how I create content, how I make people go viral, or how someone else does it, or what are the best 5 tips, I'm going to have to find just that right balance between what I like and what people like before I blow up.
Okay. And the other thing that I wanted to touch upon is for a lot of podcasters, we focus on long form content, right? So I myself have a podcast and I use it as purely experiment. I wanted to know if I can actually provide this as a service to my clients on the marketing agency. And I just wanted to dabble and see. I had no idea I'm going to fall in love with the content creation side of a podcaster. I really didn't. But it made me curious to realize, okay, so the long form is the podcast. How am I going to get people to watch that? So I have to create short form. Keeping the short form engaging and interesting, I have not got any clue what I'm doing. But like you said, I'm experimenting. And I just wanted to know, like, let's say, for example, you have one long form content, one video, you want people to go and watch on YouTube. How much short form content should you create to channel and to funnel those people into YouTube to watch?
Before I talk about this, I'm going to just touch on something that I already mentioned, which is organic and inorganic seeding when it comes to reach. So both short form platforms such as Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Snapchat Spotlight have their own algorithms doing that for you, which is bringing in organic reach. So you need to understand and identify what type of content is bringing that reach on short form. Now, when you talk about long form, honestly, I don't think there's many people out there right now in the Middle East who understand long form content, because we're all in this TikTok rush, Instagram Reels rush. We've completely ignored what's happening in long form. Whereas in the West, people like Mr. Beast, Arak, and there's so many other creators have mastered it. From what I've learned for the last 6 months, I have been not doing a podcast, but I've been vlogging everything. I posted 148 vlogs. And what I learned from that is that on long form, it is more important to package your video with the right title and thumbnail than it is to create the video. I mean, there are people literally spending weeks on their title and thumbnail, and then they're filming their video. Whereas on short form, you could create whatever and you can get away with it. But on long form, when you open YouTube, the first thing you see is the title and thumbnail. So it's not like a vertical feed on short form content where you scroll and then you find something you like. It's title, thumbnail, then your content. So if I was to get reach on my podcast, I would ask myself, what is the best way to package my podcast? What is the best title? What is the best thumbnail? And YouTube has some insane features, like you have vidIQ, which is a extension you can download, and it shows you metrics, how your video is performing. You can test multiple thumbnails on YouTube and then see which one has a higher click-through rate, which is if someone clicked on your video. And even with titles, and just recently I learned that you can keep changing your title as many times as you want before your video actually dies off. So like when you post a short form content, it's done. You've posted it, now you leave it on the algorithm. But on YouTube, once you post a long form video, for maybe the next 48 hours, you could test multiple titles. So if you've posted a podcast about, I don't know, COVID 2020, change that title like maybe 5 or 10 times if you want to. And you'll actually see some big YouTubers doing this. Like using the vidIQ extension, you can see how many times they've changed their thumbnail and title, because it's your hook before the video itself.
That's interesting, because I remember I saw Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, and he said he has an entire team dedicated to just run different hooks, titles, thumbnails constantly, daily. And this is obviously why, because people need to understand you don't just put, and I made the mistake. I put it out there and I was like, well, why is no one watching? Yeah. I've created short form and people are not watching. Then I changed all of it. And it took a while because I had 10 episodes and then each episode had like 2 or 3. It took me forever. But I was like, you know what? Let me try and see if I get this. And then I realized the numbers started going up just from a thumbnail. Like that in itself started getting people to engage. And it's just crazy because you think that's the first thing they're going to see. Maybe the title, yes, if they're searching, but that visual, either you'll hook them or you won't.
And you shouldn't completely dismiss the inorganic seeding power of it as well. The short form videos that you can create out of your podcast. So one of the things which we do with our clients at K9 is we'll film them for 1 hour in a podcast studio. And it's not a podcast, but the whole idea of that podcast is to create clips. Like me and Majdi, we've created this video, and it's also on Podster's page, where we deliberately said Dubai is the easiest place to become a millionaire, or Dubai is the cheapest place in the world. And that video pissed off so many people because they thought like, oh my God, this is personally offensive to me. But what people don't understand is that just with small controversial topics within your podcast, you can have some insane amount of reach, and then people want to see the whole thing. But then my only issue with that is that that's not helping the cause of the algorithm, which is that organic. But you should do that as well. That's how there's this thing called the Andrew Tate method, where he spammed thousands of profiles with this whole war room thing, who were posting his clips, which were essentially podcasts. And some of the videos that we've seen also blow up on short form have been part of some long form videos. You just need to know what you're clipping. And clipping is not easy, honestly. Like you can, if you have a 1 hour podcast and you're trying to clip it into 15 videos or 20 videos, you can end up spending 3 days on that. I mean, you can't, not 3 days back to back, but like you have to play it over and over and over again and ask yourself, are they going to watch this 30-second clip? Sometimes you can even rearrange what people are saying. Like in a 1 hour conversation, you might have said something at point B, which if it was placed at point A, and then the video was played like that, it sounds more engaging. And I've seen people do that a lot of times. You can take things out of context. You can add, I mean, I don't believe that editing makes that much of a role or plays that much of a role in the video going viral than the context of the video itself. Because sometimes people are just listening and they're not even watching. You know, people are just driving and scrolling. People are just talking. They're sitting in an environment. And if it's something that they heard, so always audio first, then video, and so on and so forth.
So then let's come to, based on that audio concept, catchphrases, statements, elements where people are using something that people are going to recognize them for. You came up with that as well. So how did you come up with the phrase that you've coined it, basically? How did that come about? And when did you realize this is going to be it?
I'm going to go back in time a little bit, because before the parody podcast content, we were doing we were making fun of Gary Vee, because there was like a lot of motivational speaking content. It was just all over the internet. Like, you know, I don't even remember like some of the stuff he said, just like, if you wake up, you're awake. Like stuff like that, you know? And I was just like, how are people watching this? Why is this going viral? And then I was like, and then we had a client at K9. He was, he's the owner of Kiza, and he was doing motivational content, and it was going viral in the Middle East. And right there and then, it was me and my sister, we were filming. And I was like, what if I made fun of motivational speakers? No one's doing it. It's unique for now. Let's tap into it. And so I remember the first video ever was just, I mean, I can show you guys. I won't find it right now. It's too far down there. But yeah, do it. Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll pull it up alongside the conversation. But so the video was just me speaking about some completely random nonsense. Like when I used to be 5 years old, I was 5. How old were you? I said this and it got 25 million views. I was like, what the hell is wrong with people?
That's exactly what I would say.
Right?
Like this, I'm not sure this is a good thing that we have that many people who like this. It's just weird.
And then from there on, I mean, if there are cows that you can milk and create milk out of, I probably had like 100-acre land of cows that I was milking this much content out of. Like it was a factory of just making fun of motivational speaking content. Every day I was posting 3 videos back to back. The exact same format. I was saying nonsense, pretending to be I'm on a TED Talk, and it was getting insane amounts of reach. Like at that point, my account was on 100,000 followers. It jumped to 700,000 followers in 3 months. This is TikTok. And on Instagram, Reels was new. So nothing much was really happening. But still, on Instagram, I went from 2,000 to 22,000 followers. And I've had my Instagram account since 2014. And it was just stuck on 2,000 followers. Like nothing ever really blew up. And when I saw that, I was like, the algorithm really doesn't give a shit. It really can't, be bothered by our personal agendas about what we like. It's going to show content that what people like. People have the power. People control not entirely. Of course, there's agendas. Let's not go deep down in that world. But to a certain extent, that's why TikTok is in threat right now of getting banned, because there is power with people on that algorithm. And Reels just copied their homework. So did YouTube Shorts. And it works in the exact same manner.
So isn't it concerning? Was that at the beginning you started using it, or did it just kind of you birthed it somewhere in the middle of this process?
Yeah. So from the motivational speaking content, I slowly started realizing that I personally can't, for the rest of my life, say nonsense as a fake Gary Vee. So I'm now going to try and look for another style of content. And then I saw this podcast of Jumpers Jump podcast. I don't know if anyone over here knows who I'm talking about. They're basically these two kids in the US who talk about conspiracy theories. It's a version of Joe Rogan, but like more Gen Z. And I was like, okay, this also sounds like absolute nonsense. Let's make fun of this. And then I put earmuffs, pink earmuffs on. It was my sister's, I think. I don't know. And I held my phone as my microphone. And that started going viral as well. Now, in that video, I was not saying, isn't that concerning? For like straight 6 months, I just dabbled between this and that. And I think I was recording at Podster's old studio, the OG studio Onyx, which is before it was something else. I remember Vuk was sitting in the back, and I would bring two shirts. I would record like for half an hour, like one angle, and then go and change my shirt and record the other angle. And Vuk would just be like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, what is wrong with him? Who records a podcast with himself? And in that whole process, I think I mentioned, isn't that concerning, by unintentionally. I really didn't know. And then people started commenting, isn't that concerning? Isn't that concerning in my comments? And I was like, great. Isn't that concerning? And that's how it was born. And today, if you Google just the phrase, isn't that concerning? Like right now, you'll find my face right there because of the amount of organic reach that phrase has on the internet because of my videos. Do I spend effort in researching? Like before, I was just making up nonsense, but now what I started doing is I literally go on Reddit or YouTube and write shower thoughts, and I find like hundreds of these questions and these nonsensical ideas, which now I just have to plug and play. And people even DM me stuff all the time. And sometimes I just repeat them. Like literally, I put as little effort as I possibly can for the video to work, because I understand that the algorithm doesn't care. So why should I?
Nice. I like that. Power to the people rather than the algorithm. Thank God we found a system of that. We're going to come to... Okay, go on.
Which is the funniest one? Is it concerning funniest one that you got? According to you.
Honestly, man, none of them are funny. They're so lame. It's just... It's a new level of lame that people... Now it's like the opposite of funny, right? I think the ones that I've done with Sean are the most funny. There was one which we did... why is the letter W spelled W and not W?
No, double V, yeah.
Yeah, not double V. And we just broke into laughter because of the whole idea. That was one of my favorite. Another one was in the real estate world, which went super viral. And it was, why do we pay for land when it already exists on the planet for free? And so that was a genuine question that I had, because I was with one of my clients. We were shooting and I was like, wait, why are we paying for this land if it's like right there? And I went and I filmed it. And then that sound, someone took it in the US and they made a trend out of it. And then that sound had like 100,000 videos under it. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, I just wanted to know, do you own the land all the way down to the center of the earth? Or like how much of airspace do you get? And like if you own an apartment, if they break down the whole building, do you just own that section in 3D? What's going on? So
that's quite a rabbit hole you get yourself into. You're like, you start somewhere and you end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I guess that's how you're creating.
Yeah.
You're letting your mind just flow and you're picking up all the pieces and creating content from that.
I mean,
crazy it might be, but it's working.
So I love engineering. I love Iron Man. I'm a huge fan of Marvel. And so from that, I think I've always had this whole critical analysis mindset. I mean, I was terrible in math. I never understood math. I got a U. I think I got a U in A levels, which is it's ungraded. They didn't even grade my paper. But the whole curiosity factor plays a huge role in the research aspect. Like today, whatever I ask as a question in my podcast, thousands of people engage with it. Also, another FYI, there's no one really sitting across my videos. So I've pre-recorded all the reactions literally like months ago, and I'm just stitching them together whenever I feel like.
Love it. So brings me to my last question before then I hand over to the audience.
Yeah.
You mentioned about your audience. So one of the things I think a lot of people have a desire to do is engage with their audience, to get them to comment, not just to press that like, but actually make a comment that adds value or shares their insights or whatever it is. How do you instigate that? I mean, I've read some of your comments and it's funny because people just keep either giving you new ideas or they're talking about previous clips that they just find funny. How do you keep that engagement or, let's say, inspire it?
So I've never really intentionally looked at engagement where I'm going to reply to comments or I'm going to reply to DMs to grow engagement. I've always kind of left that to the viewership, because my personal theory is that if you make a video that is controversial enough or viral enough, people will do the engagement bit for you in the comment section and fight with each other, which happens all the time. If one person comes and says, I'm retarded, the other person comes and says, no, he's not, you're retarded. And then it's like 50 comments.
That's it. You start watching the comments.
Yeah, and then
you forget the video and you're reading the comments.
Yeah, I spend very little time reading the comments because I have to post the next video in the next 24 hours. And I have to make sure that I have enough content at all times. My goal is actually to have videos posted, like even after I'm dead, for like 700 days. Like it's just people won't even know that content is still rolling. So engagement for me, I would say, is that when you get your title, thumbnail, or your idea locked in, the engagement is just going to follow because people are just genuinely curious. Another thing that I used to do, and we still do it with our clients, is that if someone comments on your video, let's say you've made a video about a property and they said, where is this? Or what location is this? Or like just a general question. Instead of replying to them directly as a comment, use that as a video response. And I've seen that really increase engagement because that shows people that, wow, okay, this guy is reading my comment and he's going to reply to me in the next video. And then people start commenting more because everyone wants a little bit of a spotlight, even if they're keyboard warriors. They love that.
True. Okay, well, I've got a few more questions, but I want to open up to the audience as well so they can start injecting. And I've got 3 questions from people who I don't know if you're here. I will shout out your name later. Do we have Sophia Kennedy here? Oh, that's you, Sophia. Okay, great. We've got Muhammad Amir. Okay, great. And Ahmed Adel. Okay, he's not here, so he gets no question. But I wanted to ask both of their questions to you, so I'm going to let them ask it yourselves, or do you want me to ask for you? Yeah? Okay, so Sophia wanted to know, were you always comfortable in front of people and the camera? I know you mentioned it, but how have you got through your barrier of sitting in front of a room of people?
I wish we could connect the phone because I would love to show you guys some of the content that I was doing in the beginning. And I've genuinely just never really bothered with what people are going to think about what I'm doing. I don't know if that's something natural or it's just me being on the spectrum to a certain extent. And for me, if I post a video and someone likes it or doesn't like it, really doesn't matter because I'm looking for those zeros and ones from the algorithm's perspective. And I'm so obsessed and super laser focused on what is working and what is not working that's so secondary for me. It really never affected me. If a video performed well and it got hate on it, okay, I really don't care. But the video worked, great. Let's go to the next video and see how we can recreate that. Because eventually the algorithm is going to do its job. So personally, I really never had this issue of conquering a fear of camera. But for people that I have worked with, there's a lot of people out there that don't like putting their face. They don't like how they sound. And I always say that we're moving into a world where Black Mirror is happening in real time. If you've seen the show, your passport is becoming your Instagram, your TikTok, your identity is becoming social media. So whether you do it by showing your face, whether you do it with your voiceovers, you're going to have to make peace with it eventually, because that is how people are communicating today. We're not in the medieval ages where they sent ravens or pigeons to communicate with each other. We're on 2024 where one tweet, one reel, one TikTok can reach the president's office. So make peace with it and find a way that you can create content while you're comfortable at it. And if you can, that's great. Some people they don't have to necessarily create. And that's a big issue I feel in the market as well. Everyone thinks that they need to become a content creator. No. You can fish, you can go cook, you can drive, you can do whatever you want. It's not necessary that you become a content creator. Educate yourself on it, try it, and if it works, great, but don't beat yourself about it.
I think that's one of the interesting points, because honestly, public speaking is the number one fear that people have. And I've worked with a lot of clients and done a lot of events where the speakers were very nervous to get on stage. They're great at public facing, but they don't like talking to an audience. Or if they're on camera, nobody has to be behind that camera, but they psychologically think, I'm going to be judged. They're not going to like me. I'm going to be awful. I'm going to fail at this. Those fears have a massive role to play. So how you were able to just get through that and not even think about it because you were laser focused on this content, I need to see where it's going. How's it working? That's genius.
Yeah, it's like, I'm in my happy place. I'm in my happy place. You can keep saying that to yourself.
You find your happy place.
Yeah, my happy place is when the video is working. And when it's working, we move to the next video, completely forget about what's happening in the back. And it's like going to the gym, which I don't clearly. It's like working out in a way. Like you get it's a habit. Once it becomes a habit, then people just kind of become irrelevant to what they're thinking. And it's not easy, obviously. Like in the beginning, you will struggle if you have that fear of what people will think. But I think social media also does that today. There's this, standard of living and this expectation set by a lot of people out there that this is how you need to be. But I don't think that you should look at what others are doing and become that. You should try to become yourself. And that's where the real virality lies.
Love it. Be yourself. Don't follow, be yourself. Love that. Beautiful message. Mohammed Amir wants to know, what tips do you have, again, we've touched upon it a little bit, for real estate agents to create viral content as lead gen or awareness? And I know you said don't do it as a sales focus, but let's say just to create awareness on either new developments or the real estate market or stats or whatever. What advice would you give to real estate agents or brokers?
Just go do a how much do you pay for rent video. And you'll get like 500,000 views. Like just get someone, and I'm just kidding. For real estate brokers, first of all, as we were speaking earlier, it's become super saturated because suddenly a lot of real estate brokers want to make content. I wonder why. It's because now everyone's educating, everyone's showing properties. The same property is shown 100 times. Everyone is talking about the exact same law again. So again, try to find something unique to yourself. If that's talking about your country, if that's talking about, I don't know, something that's trending on social media and you have an opinion about it, or the trend of the market. I mean, there's like 100 ideas that we could come up with right now, but then there will be ideas that I have suggested, but not unique to you. So you need to kind of do your own research. Something that I do when I'm creating content for clients is I ask them, what did you scroll in the last 1 week and that you liked, that you hit like on? And then let's go to that content and see why you liked it. And then in that liked content, there's probably a hidden structure that works for you. And 99% of the time, we end up with a video which will actually perform organically, because now they're not only comfortable doing the video because they had subconsciously liked it, but they're also being themselves. They're liking what they're saying, and it's not forced. It's not for the objective of selling. You also have to understand that think of viewers as cockroaches, no offense, that became immune to Piff Paff over the years. And the TikTok viewers are strong cockroaches. Like, they cannot be bothered
interesting visual
with the amount of hooks, with the amount of editing you put in, because they have been consuming Piff Paff, which is your content, for the last 4 years, and they know exactly what you're doing. But with Reels, it's different. With Reels, it's still baby cockroaches. They're still getting into the whole short form
Piff Puff thing.
Piff Paff thing. So you have to come up with a new, completely different style of content, which is difficult because how many times can you reinvent the wheel? But then that's what separates content creators that are blowing up and content creators that are not. And
they're giving up.
And that the only difference between the two is their objectives. This one wanted to create content for the sake of content, while this one wanted to create content because the agenda was selling something.
I love it. Always goes back to intention.
100%.
It's a beautiful concept. Thank you. I'm going to open up to the audience. So who's got a question that they want to put to Fahad? Yep.
So, Elvit. My name is Elvit. Nice to meet everyone here. I want to ask you, how do you come up with ideas for other clients of yours, businesses? How do you know that specific idea is going to work? Because I've been watching you for a while now, and almost, I would say, majority of content that you create for your clients go viral. So how do you know in an automotive industry where they sell spare parts, what's going to work?
I would love to screen mirror my phone so I can show you guys actual examples of content. I don't know if that's... Maybe I think we have to turn off the TV and turn it on again. Yeah, I'm on the Wi-Fi, and it was working earlier, but I think it's just... Yeah, it must have glitched. But I'll get started anyways in the meantime. Here you go.
Oh my God, what have you done, Mohan?
I think it's the same remote for everything.
Yes. And here we are.
I think I'm in.
Oh,
Perfect.
Yes,
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
It was Marwan to come here.
Yeah.
Magic
Great.
touch. Okay.
Perfect. Right. So can everyone see the screen? Great. All right. One of our best clients, I would say, is... Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. That's my brother. This is one of our best clients, I would say, Tawfiq Kraidi, Brands for Less. And when we started creating content with him, we had absolutely no idea how to position a CEO of a big chain like BFL Group, right? So our first video ever was like, okay, can you introduce yourself to the people that are watching you? And that video was, right, if I'm not mistaken, around, this one? Yeah, but its ranking is completely different now because they mix engagement with... Just give me like 1 second. Hold on.
Guys, approaching summer.
No. I'm just going to scroll because it's just easier that way. It was a video of him saying, "Hi guys, my name is Tawfiq. I'm the co-founder of Brands for Less. And this is my first time on TikTok." It got 1.4 million. You send it to me? It's fine. Oh, okay. Perfect.
Hi, my name is Tawfiq Kraidi. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Brands for Less. Actually, it's my first time on TikTok, and I'm so happy to go through this journey. Hi.
His tone here is supernatural. He's not selling Brands for Less. He's not saying, "Come buy from my store," or anything. He's just introducing himself. And this idea was not from us. It was just him speaking about himself on camera. We just filmed it. We got him to say it. So majority of our videos that go viral, actually the idea comes from the client. It's just the process of questioning, the process of shooting and directing the client where we end up with these videos. And today, I mean, with Tawfiq, if you've seen his videos, we're literally replicating Mr. Beast content. We're doing...
If you turn this one into 3 and you have 30 seconds, I give you 500 dirhams. 1, go.
Anyways, you can watch the video on his page later. He turns the 1 into 3. I don't know if he actually does. It has 49.2 million views. 49.2 million people watch this video about someone turning a 1 into 3. It has nothing to do with off-price model of clothes. It has nothing to do with I have this store located in Sharjah, in Dubai. And exactly just like that, we've done content with maybe almost everyone. This is another client of ours, Realtor on a Harley. If you guys have seen him, same strategy. This was a very simple video. Again, real estate brokers, if you do this video, will go viral.
Dubai promised a golden visa to anyone who's investing 2 million dirhams in the Dubai real estate market. I am living proof that if you invest 2 million dirhams in the Dubai real estate market...
Now, I didn't have this script. I didn't know that if you invest 2 million dirhams in the market, you get a golden visa. He had this information. We just kind of discussed potential things that we can film. And he's like, by the way, this is some new law. Let's make a video about it. And then as you create content for so many people, you start seeing structures. You start seeing patterns. And I like to show you guys something that...
But before that, when people replicate similar videos, but their videos don't perform, because I'm sure we have all seen similar videos, but they never got 100,000 views. What's the reason?
So always when you're replicating, the views will go down naturally because the piff paff concept, the cockroach is now immune to that style of content. But sometimes it blows up. This was a structure that we did with one of our clients a while back. I'll show you the original structure, what it was. It was actually a podcast video.
No, Dubai listens to... Dubai is the only city in the world that has an app for everything.
I'm sure you guys have seen this.
Food and grocery and medicine delivered to your house.
Anyways, he goes on to explain how Dubai has an app for everything. This video was on 440,000 views. Exact same idea of Dubai has an app for everything with Tawfiq. Right around, it was quite recent, so it shouldn't be hard to find. Yeah, right there.
Dubai was one of the first cities in the world that introduced for us all of these services online. Look at Kafu. You go, you order.
Anyways, he goes on to explain how there's an app for everything. And then we did that same thing again with another client who was an app.
Dubai is the only city in the world that has an app for everything. If your car runs out of fuel, you can go to the Kafu app.
700,000 views on the video that was done for this client, and it's like the third iteration that is there. There's like 100 structures and ideas out there that just exist, and you can just go do it and get views.
Cool.
I mean, it seems so simple how you break it down, but it's not even the hashtags, it's not anything. So you're telling me the algorithm is picking up, this is a Dubai has an app.
Think of hashtags, editing, timing of posting, camera that I'm using as makeup for your content. And the true context is the natural beauty of the content. So yes, if the video that you're creating is inherently good, like what you're talking about has some sort of hook to it or some sort of attention to it, it will work. I have only used 2 hashtags on my profile. You can see right there. This whole time I've just been doing FahadK_, which is my username, which then allows people to look me up easier, and Fahad's podcast. And just kind of, that's it. Like, you'll never find more than, oh yeah, we collaborated with Jason Derulo recently. And yeah, it's just, And even for our clients, we say the same thing. It will help in making you get discovered about the topic that you're creating content on, but on short form, personally, I have not seen it make this massive viral difference.
Anyone else have a question? Yvonne? Oh, now everyone's saying hello. We're going to wrap up soon and you're waking up. Okay, can we go back this way? Oh, Maria, yeah. Just make it short, yeah?
Yeah, hi. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
What should the length of this short podcast be to make a difference on views?
Right. So when you say length, you mean how long should the clip be?
Like I do podcasts. Mine
Right.
is minimum 30 seconds. I don't want any more than that.
Okay. When you're talking about length of clip,
Time.
how long? 1
Sure.
minute, 60 seconds, 15 seconds. I don't think it makes a difference, again, whether the video is 1 minute, 20 seconds long or 15-second long. I have seen 7-minute TikTok clips get millions of views.
What about Instagram?
So Instagram is mirroring TikTok. And if anything, it's mirroring at a very big rate, like a video, like these are podcast clips. You can assume them to be podcast clips. This is a recent video that I had created, which I'm just going to show you right now, which was sitting on, I don't know why, I don't know how exactly, but yeah, 31.5 million views. Okay. This is if you can watch the video over here.
If you hold your nose.
Yeah.
No, can't say if you hold your nose.
Have you tried this? Do it. It really works.
So that video has 31.5 million views. It is the exact same length as all the clips on my channel, or more or less the same. It's a very short clip. The same video on TikTok is sitting on,
You can't say
4 million views. So what's happening is, again, people on Instagram are just now getting aware of this type of content. So you could be making long videos, short videos in short form. You kind of really need to focus on what you're saying more than the length. If it takes you 2 minutes to say your point, take 2 minutes to say it and it'll go viral.
Okay. In terms of there's so much talk out there on the market at the minute. Oh, you need to post at this time, or you need to put it like this. What is the best time to post, or is that insignificant to everything that you've just said?
I love, everyone has this question. So when you're posting your content, think of it like you're putting a coin in the casino, like in the roulette machine. And whether you do that at the 5th second or the 100th second or the 200th second, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a whole probability game. I like to post content between 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. because I assume that that's when everyone is using their social media. But I've seen videos posted at 3 a.m. go viral because the algorithm is not showing. And by the way, Instagram and TikTok gives you these data points that your followers are most active at this time. Your followers are not watching your content. 31.5 million people were from, and I'll show you the analytics right there, are from non-followers, 98.9%. So if that's the case, then why are we listening to what Instagram is telling us as the best time to post? When people from outside the followers are going to watch, and that's how you bring reach to your channel. You're not going to bring reach by showing your content to your followers. You're only going to bring reach if someone from outside sees it.
Can I just ask one quick question?
Yeah.
In regards to, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, every social media aspect out there, do you still think that TikTok is probably one of the most, as opposed to Instagram and anything else?
TikTok is your hardest exam to test if your short form is working. Post everywhere. It's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's-
Hi, Fahad.
Hi.
Yeah, but this question is not regarding content, just regarding you. I hope you're doing well. And how are you dealing? Obviously, you're an amazing person.
Thank you.
Whenever I reach out to you for any questions, you're always there. How do you deal with your life, your friends, your family, relationships, and then work as well?
I've become a little bit of a workaholic, I would say, in the last 4 years. And it's not the best lifestyle, but I'm also at that age, I guess, right now where I can beep around and find out till I find out. So I try my best to balance things, like which is spend time with family whilst you're creating content. But I think the amount of work that I put in is always more than the amount of time I give myself to relax. But that's also because I have what I'm doing is something I enjoy doing. I wouldn't be able to put in like if I start my day at 11 with filming, meetings and shoots and end it at like 7, and then I take a break for a few hours, I'm starting again at 12 midnight till 3 a.m. And the only way I can do that is because I'm just like, did the video work? And if it didn't work, what can I do different? So I guess I'm just figuring it out.
How has having a personal brand and a strong social media presence affected your business or your company? And do you think that you could have succeeded as much as you did without it or without having such a presence?
You know, Kanye West says, I guess we'll never know. But for sure, my personal brand, my business partner's personal brand, Majdi, has influenced the business to an extent where for the last 4 years, we've barely had a sales team bringing in leads. And majority of the business that comes in is inbound because they see the content that goes viral on our pages. They see the content that is then collaborated with us, with our clients. And then that really helped our business to scale. But does getting those 31 million views bring me 31 million clients? No. If I'm bringing in 60 million organic reach in the last 3 months, I'm maybe getting 2 leads that potentially want to work with me per month. The conversion is super low because I'm also doing entertainment content. But on the flip side, with the Creator Manual, which is my new experiment and a method to teach people, it only has 297 followers right now. And on YouTube, we posted 2 videos, which is barely on 100, 200 views. And I got 3 leads in just these many views because I changed the style of content and now I'm bringing awareness about what I'm doing. So immediately there's like this huge change in conversion. But this will not be possible if that is not happening, which is the entertainment side of content.
When you talk with that conversation with the clients, do you promise virality? That's kind of very difficult thing to promise, considering that not all videos kind of go viral. Also, how many videos do you kind of post or the clients post before they kind of go viral? I mean, now Tawfiq Kreida, he's everywhere. You see his face, obviously because of all the videos. But how many videos before he got into that level of virality? If that makes sense.
We never promise virality. We'll sit with clients for hours and we'll discuss everything that we're going to do. And then they'll ask us, okay, what's the KPI? How many followers, how many views are we going to get at the end of the month? And we say 0. There's 0 guarantee. You might end up with 100 views. This is a casino. I'm your best bet in making the bet in this casino because we have enough data to back us up. We have 30,000 short form pieces of content in the last 4 years. We are dropouts and this is all we do. This is our life. And they either work with us on that and they take that leap of faith or they don't. And that's fine. We have clients that like Tawfiq took the leap of faith and they went super viral. Your next question, which is how many videos? When we started the agency, we were doing 30 videos a month for our clients simply because we didn't know what we were doing. I'll show you the first ever video that went viral for our client, which was it's an interior designing company, Casa Milano. And this video was posted on, before I play the video, 2020, November. This is the 27th post for the client, literally the 27th post that we've ever created. And watch the video. That video,
satisfying.
Exactly. And that sound was at that time trending, and the video ended up on 7.7 million views. Did we strategize, script, hire models, influencers to make that video happen? No, it's my hand, and I have just shot it twice. And some bubbles. And then we did that again. 2.8 million.
So a lot
views.
of it's trial and error, isn't it?
Everything is
A lot
trial
of
and
trial
error
error.
because we're organic. If you're inorganic, then you have ad spend. And I think I should talk about this before I go further in. Never spend money on ads when you're starting out. And in fact, never spend money on ads ever, because you literally have an algorithm that is as powerful as the Pentagon to bring reach to you. And a lot of people boost their content and then they suffer because you told the algorithm, here is 500 dirhams. I want people from 25 to 35 in Jumeirah with this nationality to watch my content. How can you predict that at that point when they see the content, they're going to be in the right mindset to engage with your video? How do you predict the behavior of 10,000 people if that was the expected reach? You can't. It's impossible for you to sit here when you post the video to know exactly. Maybe that guy had a fight with his girlfriend who was watching your video. Now he's not going to comment because he's pissed off. And you showed up as a sponsored ad at that moment. But what happens organically is that TikTok is doing the work for you in finding people, or Instagram is doing the work for you in finding people who genuinely want to engage. And that's why when you boost content, you will see 5 million views, 3 comments. 10 million views, 10 comments. A lot of these sponsored ads are like that. But there are some sponsored ads that perform great because the timing was right or maybe the content was right. But as a rule of thumb, I stay away from boosting because why do it when it exists for free? Same thing as the land bit.
Hi, Fahad. How are you?
All good.
Does hook matters in the video? Like a lot of people say when you start the video, the initial 3 seconds or 5 seconds, it matters a lot. So does it matter?
100%, because when you're scrolling on TikTok, let's scroll on TikTok. Something about the video that I'm looking at needs to make me stop like that, right? So yes, but what people mistake hook with is what you're saying. Hook is not what you're saying. Hook can be the visual. I'm going to show you a glimpse of what my liked video looks like.
Air marshals are air marshals.
That video has 1.4 million views. There's no one saying this property is for 5 million dirhams, or no one saying come watch this video. Nothing. It's just, it's so interesting to me. And I like the sound, I like the visual, I like the way the trolley is bouncing. This one? That's actually my friend. Yeah. So I didn't stop on that video because of the hook. I just stopped because he's my friend. But similarly,
Air marshals are the laziest goddamn people on the planet. How dare you? How many flights a year do you think get hijacked?
this is a channel which is a version of what I do in America, where they make fun of podcasts, they make fun of motivational speakers. And this is an interesting way for you guys to see how there are different varieties of content of exactly what I'm doing.
Put your hand up if you're gay. Not only do women pull my uncle molest.
Sorry, guys.
There's no such thing as making money. Nobody makes money. They take money. Because whenever you get it,
So it's the same style of content, different hooks, different styles, different videos, but same theme.
Did you want to ask a question? No? Yeah?
Hey, Fahad. Besides all of this, right? By the way, Maven. I'm an actor, rapper, and a filmmaker. Right. So, based on the content that I'm gonna ask you related to your content, yeah. You've been making content for all these years. Do you feel like satiated? Like, okay, this is the type of content I always wanted to make, or which is that type of content you've always wanted to do, and you might hang up your boots if you make it. You know what I mean? Like, it would make you retire. Like, khalas, I've done everything.
This is a very deep question. Very nice question as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, content creation, social media, and just in general, making videos was never like my life goal. I kind of fell into it, and then I discovered and I enjoyed doing it. So I never really had this, okay, I want to actually, you know what? Just Rain. If you guys know who Just Rain is, if I could become, if you don't know who Just Rain is, you should definitely look him up. He's this Punjabi Indian comedian in Canada, and he does this type of comedy that I grew up to. Right? I can't be him, but I definitely have looked up to him a lot in my way of creating content, and he just. Anyways, you can check it out later. But I wouldn't hang up my boots even if I did that. I would only hang up my boots and stop doing content creation if I found something else to be this obsessed with. Yeah.
I've kind of known Fahad for years, and I had interned for him. And whatever I know is because of him. His mind works amazingly. So I did especially come out to support him.
Thank you.
I don't know where to start. Like, I have things like, I mean, you can take what you want to answer. Example, how do you deal with clients that are not socially active? Like, they tell you, I don't know how social media works, but I want 1 million followers. Yeah.
They're
They exist.
They exist. You'll be surprised.
Other things are like, do collaborative features work? Because you feel like maybe another person's profile has a bigger following. Let me collab with them. But I don't know if it's working anymore. And you said Instagram's algorithm is still okay, but I feel like it's saturated as opposed to when Reel launched initially.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
100%. I agree with your last point. It is more saturated than it was when it launched 2 years ago. I could be mistaken. I don't remember when it came out exactly. When a client comes to us and says, I want 1 million followers, and they've not been active on social media, I know there and then this client is not going to last more than 1 month. We're going to work for 1 month, we're going to dance, and they're going to walk away, and we're going to go sleep peacefully. If your client does not understand social media, it's a recipe for disaster. And that's why before we work, we educate our clients. We tell them, this is what you're getting into. Before we start working together, go research this more. You could maybe do it yourself, and you don't need to work with an agency because it's out there for free. You don't need to buy a course to know how to use a phone or pay someone to film you. You can film yourself, because I film myself, so can you. And even then, people, when they say, no, we want to do it with you, and they understand fully, 99% of the time, it's a successful relationship. But 2 out of 5 clients don't go viral. And maybe it's because we don't know how to make them go viral. Yet, we only have 4 years worth of data on this field. Like, this shit didn't exist before 2020. So no one really knows what they're doing, and everyone is figuring it out. We are figuring it out. We're not perfect. We're not the best in the market or anything like that. We've had clients that came to us 3 years ago. We failed, but they came back to us 3 years later. We had more data. We made them viral. And you have to be transparent with your clients, because otherwise you're just going to leave this bad reputation in the market. People are going to be like, I worked with him, I paid money for this. And especially in Dubai, you have this, if I paid you for your service, I own you mentality. It's just there for some reason. I grew up here and I've seen it across the board. You have to be straightforward with no matter who you're talking to, and not have the fear that this client might not work with me. They actually like it when you're direct.
Can I also interject in this one? Client selection. Thank you. Client selection is very important. And I think whether you're starting out, I made the mistake when I started out in the agency. I just took clients because I was like, I need to make money. And I failed miserably because I did not understand what they wanted. I was not good at managing their expectations. They didn't have a clue what they wanted. So they were asking for me to lead the way. And I was just like, this is too complicated. Now, no, I have an initial consultation. And then in that conversation, we iron out everything. And I think you asked a question earlier on, how can you, verify and guarantee virality? If anyone guarantees you numbers, you need to be worried about that, because I don't think you can guarantee these things. If you say, yeah, of course, we're going to do 10 videos for you and all of them are going to go over 1 million. How do you even know that? I mean, you've got someone here who does it and he's saying you cannot put numbers to this. So a lot of customers want to say, these are my KPIs. This is how much I'm going to pay. You got to hit it. But it's our responsibility to manage their expectations. So at the end of the day, you need to let them know this is a trial and error. And I always say, you give me 3 months and then we continue. If you're happy, we get on with it. If you're not, bye. But at the end of the day, I need time to let content work for you. We have to try it. We have to test it. If you don't like it, there's an audience there. You can't expect it to happen in 30 days. I mean, if they don't get that, don't waste your time. Because they will be unhappy. They will probably badmouth you. And you don't want that kind of energy around you.
But I would like to add on to that point. Just like in the beginning when you're starting off, you can't even, sometimes saying no is damaging to your business. And you want to work with everyone potentially possible. And we did that as well with K9. We took in as many clients as we potentially could capacitate, and we lost clients. And that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, but as long as you can show to the client that you did your due diligence. I had a call last month with a client that's been working with us, and they were straight up going like, we're not getting views. We're below 500 views. We're getting barely 1,000 views. We're working with this agency to go viral. What is happening? Now, we've had our back and forth with this client for a while. And I told the client, listen, hey, if you want me to take blame for what's happening, we'll take it. Customer's always right. But here's what actually happened. This is the problem. We did go viral, but your team refuses to do the content in a certain style because it's not within your brand guidelines, or maybe the team doesn't like it whatsoever. But we'll happily take the blame, and we'll even refund you your last remaining credit for the videos, because relationships are more important than business that you are building on the way. And people remember that.
I think I have just one more question.
I don't want to let you go.
No, it's okay. I
wanted, like people get really consumed with content creation. I feel like I learn about the news from TikTok or Reels. Do you read up articles or do any online courses to expand your mindset, your skill set? Because I want to understand, how do you expand your thought processes? Do you read?
Yeah, no, I don't read. I was bad in school. I was very good in physics, but I just don't like reading in general. When you say courses and research on how to better your skills, I consume content. I consume content that I like, and I try to reverse engineer it. I like Alex Hormozi. He's the least scammy person out there, out of all the other scammers that are selling courses and doing this community stuff. That, in my opinion, that's what I think, because all of that information is out there for free. But I love his approach. He gives all the information out for free, and you can choose to work with him if you want to. And so I watch a lot of Alex Hormozi, a lot of podcasts of Joe Rogan with Mr. Beast, with Rick Rubin. I like to consume content of Just Rain. I have sat down and rewatched each video of his, which is long form, by the way, over and over again, maybe 7 times, just to see what was different about this guy's video and what's so interesting. When I start asking myself these questions, I go in my liked videos, and that kind of research is what I do. That helps me in creating these structures for myself.
Last question, and then we wrap up. Yeah?
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, I really loved how you guys opened that marketing agency, because you and Majdi, like, from the get-go, I felt like you guys brought up your personality to social media, and I thought that was unique because you could really tell that you guys were, like, genuine. But at the same time, you mentioned a lot about how, like, how Mr. Beast does this and that, and, like, obviously any social media content creator would idealize him. Have you never tried about thinking about translating your content, or like speaking it in a different language where you hit different international backgrounds?
There's one right now. There's an account which I'm too lazy to create content on because there's so many accounts. That got 20,000 views a long time ago. There's someone in Turkey who's taking my content. I don't know if I have it here. I saw something in Russian. Look, yeah. Here's the content. I'll get back to that in a second. So this page is literally taking my content. And they're translating the videos and they're getting views. Now I can report them, right? Or I can follow them back and encourage them because it just helps my agenda, which is I want to be everywhere, man. I want people to know exactly who I am. And if people in Turkey are now getting to know about me without me paying someone to post for me, wow, amazing, free reach. And so, do people have the right to take your content and copy and post it? No, TikTok actually has this very strong algorithm that shadow bans videos if it's reposted. I don't know about Instagram, but this guy has repackaged it. He's put borders up on it. He's changed the language, and I don't know how he did that, but he did it, and so he's getting away with it. But there are profiles out there that copy paste our content, and they don't get any views. Just fine.
No, that's lovely. I feel like your content, especially like I've never laughed as much as I've done in a while on social media, and your content, I go into the page and just scroll through.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So like, just keep doing what you do.
We really need to wrap up because they're going to cut out. So it's done, Fahad.
Don't do it.
You can tell. It's clear.
Yeah.
Like they'll comment on your page,
Yeah.
what you're doing, and then you look at their page. And
Yeah.
Thinking, wow,
Just it's the same thing as boosting your content. Fake followers are fake. They're not going to engage with your next post. The bot views are bot views. Why will they come again if the money's not there?
Last question. Can we take it from here?
As you mentioned, this business just came like 2020. Before that, before COVID, there was like influencer bloggers who were marketing the business.
Correct. Yes.
So
I came from that.
kind of business has been dead.
It's not dead because
What do you think is gonna be happening next? Does your business?
Yeah. So everything has a cycle. Influencer marketing is not dead. It's, if anything, it has gotten better because our motto is don't work with influencers, become the influencer. But now you are becoming the influencer, and instead of working with a fitness influencer or a fashion blogger to sell your property, you have real estate brokers that are super viral who are influencers, again, with 200,000 followers who are now marketing properties and getting paid for that. So influencer marketing is not dead. It will stay alive. I'm an influencer. Mr. Beast is an influencer. That will stay alive, and it will keep working because brands have budgets. Elvit can speak on this a lot because I learned this from him. And with our business and what we're doing, I think we're still at the beginning of short form content creation because just now we have this gathering when short form has existed for the last 4 years or 5 years. And I think the next thing is long form. Very, very soon you're going to see people investing their time into it, but the barrier to entry in long form is just way bigger than short form. But that's the next thing for sure.
Okay. Thank you, guys. We're going to now wrap up. Can we give a big round of applause?